Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us here tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Black Book reception as much as I did. It's nice having the St. Elmo sauce there, too, I think. Tom Cross, Tim West, Jared Kalfas, thank you so much for always making that a great event. Tonight, we got a lot on our plate. Yes, thank you. Tonight, we're going to induct our newest member into the NAAA Hall of Fame, introduce our Pioneer Award winner, and welcome NAAA's 67th president, Laura Taylor. We will also recognize the Southern chapter for winning the PAC Cup for the second time, celebrate four auctions for their community service, and crown the 2019 Auto Auction of the Year. And now I'd like to invite NAAA Chief Executive Officer Steve Jordan to deliver our invocation.
Please join me as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight to thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us and to bless the food we are about to receive. We ask that you bless our time together tonight and ask for your continued blessings on the many industry leaders and businesses represented here tonight. We pray that you would continue to guide them and grant them wisdom as they lead and serve this industry and our communities back home. Tonight we ask that your hand guide the leaders of this great nation and that you would lead them in wisdom and unity. We also ask for a special blessing for our veterans and the military personnel who have served this great country, many of whom have laid down their lives for our freedom. Be with those currently serving in our armed forces as well, and all of the many first responders who put their lives on the line every day to protect us. May you continue to protect them and their families and bless them for their sacrifice and service. And finally, dear Lord, we invite you to be with us here tonight. May we be forever thankful and bring honor to you in all that we say and do. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Steve, again. Everybody, please enjoy dinner. Hopefully everyone did or is enjoying dinner, and we're going to move on now with the rest of the evening's festivities. Allow me first to introduce our 2019 and 2020 Board of Directors. When your name is called, please stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause until all of the officers and board members have been introduced. President, Laura Taylor. President-elect, Julie Picard. Vice President, Charles Nichols. Secretary, Charlotte Pyle. Treasurer, Warren Bird. Chairman of the Board, Chad Bailey. Executive Vice President, Mike Browning. Board of Directors, Chris Angelicchio. Christy Letizia, Doug Rodriguez, Michelle Noblet, Steve DeLuca, Jerry Barker, Tim Bowers, Steve Krupa, Aline Joyelle, Chad Anderson, Bill McCready, and Dave Blake. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019-20 officers and board of directors. Yesterday, we introduced Jim Hallett into the NAAA Hall of Fame and honored Joseph Mass and Andy White with the Bernie Hart Memorial Auctioneer of the Year Award. I would once again like to congratulate our honorees. Your association continues to have a presence on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., and works diligently raising funds for the Political Action Committee. In 2013, the NAAA PAC Cup was created as a friendly competition among the 4 NAAA chapters to raise funds, make friends, and to be certain our voices are heard. The PAC Cup is awarded each year during this conference to the chapter raising the most money. The Southern chapter is the PAC Cup champion for 2019. If the Southern chapter president and its board of directors please stand and accept our gratitude. Since 2013, the NAAA Political Action Committee has raised over $225,000, and we thank all of those who have contributed and encourage everyone to support our lobbying efforts in Washington, D.C. Thank you. The Pioneer Award was first presented in 1998, and since that time, 27 members have been recognized with this honor. The award honors individuals who have made a significant contribution to the auto auction industry. The definition of a pioneer is the first person to do something, such as explore new territory, test a theory, or even create a product. The person we're honoring this evening is without a doubt a pioneer, and I'm guaranteeing you I will prove this. Jeff Barber is the president and owner of State Line Auto Auction, the largest independent auto auction in New York State. A 36-year industry veteran, he became the sole manager of the three-year-old business in 1984 upon the death of his father. Let me describe State Line Auto Auction to you, as I've had the pleasure of being there. You enter the parking lot of the State Line and you get a glimpse of the building with its glass facade. You exit your vehicle with a welcoming walkway and a stunning example of automobilia on display everywhere. The gas and oil sign collection just demonstrate Jeff's love for his industry. Employees greet you at every turn, and the welcome mat is throughout the entire auction. Jeff praises his employees' years of expertise and customer service. He takes great pride in the display of the pedal car he donated to NAAA and then bought back for, yes, $102,000, with his proceeds benefiting the Scholastic Foundation during the 2014 pedal car auction. When you're a visitor or customer at State Line, you feel like you're the most important person there, because you are. State Line's a really happy place. You bump into dealers, and we have a smile or a handshake for Jeff at every turn. State Line Auto Auction is situated on over 200 acres in Waverly, New York. Outside the arena, they have 200 bright yellow and red bollards about 5 feet tall, gracing the entrances of all 8 of their lanes. Safety is obviously a priority at State Line, and the reason to protect staff and clients, as the auction runs almost over 1,200 cars every sale day. Yellow and orange vests surround you everywhere, and it's no exaggeration to see paving going on by Paul. In fact, Paul, or some earth-moving equipment, he's probably doing something to improve the facilities or even trying to help build other areas. As an expected part of life during the winter months, a snowstorm does not even faze the staff at State Line Auto Auction. Their crew is actually equipped to handle the challenges to keep thousands of cars clean. As opposed to tediously wiping, chiseling away each vehicle, State Line found a much simpler, more efficient, and more fun way to remove snow with industrial-strength turbines. With more than 1,100 cars moving in and out of that auction grounds each week, State Line doesn't have time to waste. They needed a solution for cleaning cars and moving ice quickly, so they attached a Buffalo turbine blower to a Volvo excavator to blow the snow and ice off the cars like they were eraser scraps from a piece of paper. Today, State Line Auto Auction has advanced into its 3rd generation of family ownership. Jeff's daughters, Emily and Beth, along with Paul, are involved in all aspects of the auction's operations, along with Jeff's wife of 41 years, Jean. His oldest daughter, Kate, is an attorney in Washington, D.C. Jeff has had many firsts at the auction, from selling the last 2004 Oldsmobile Alero to roll off the assembly line and signed by workers who built it, or to being the birthplace of simulcast, which I'm about to explain. It was October 12, 1995, a very historic days in the archives of our automobile auction technology. On that day, State Line Auto Auction, the first vehicles ever, both live and electronically, were processed at a General Motors closed auction. 400 vehicles were offered that day, and 400 were sold. 125 bidders were in attendance, and 15 bidders chose to stay at their respective dealerships and bid remotely. 45 cars were purchased electronically by remote bidders. At the time, everyone at State Line realized they were involved in something pretty historic. It started when Steve Campus was introduced at a ServNet meeting. Steve had developed a device that allowed conference attendees to vote electronically with the capability of tabulating and recording votes from remote locations simultaneously. Steve's entrepreneurial spirit led him to think that his technology could be used in the auto auction environment. After approaching a few OEM manufacturers and even a couple of auto auction chains, to no avail, Steve tried the ServNet group that Jeff was a founding member of, and he actually was invited to present his technology to the group. State Line had procured a contract from General Motors as a General Motors sponsored auto auction in the fall of 1989, with the first auction conducted in March of '90. In 1995, the director of marketing for GM gave Jeff the go-ahead with this project. A fortunate fact was the availability of satellite dishes at General Motors dealerships for the use of their parts departments. With most GM dealers already having a dish on their rooftop, State Line's sales and marketing team set out on a mission to gain permission for remote bidding using the existing equipment. Hence, a partnership was struck between Steve Campus and Jeff Barber to provide General Motors a closed auction for their dealers, allowing those dealers to bid remotely at the same time the live auction was being conducted. The thing was called the Internet, but the opinion from parties involved deemed that the Internet was too slow. It could never keep up with the fast bidding required. Therefore, the basic technology consisted of live video streaming by way of satellite, with the audio portion of the auction transmitted through a phone bridge. The satellite truck set up at the auction that day had actually come from the U.S. Open tennis tournament, which had been played in the borough of Queens, New York. State Line Auto Auction was transformed into a broadcast center. The first live event on October 12th was remarkable in that 45 cars were sold. The first vehicle ever sold to a remote bidder in conjunction with a live auction was car number 8, and it was sold to Farnsworth Chevy of Canandaigua, New York, to George Marble, their used car manager. Farnsworth bought 8 cars remotely. Another dealership, Bob Johnson Chevy, bought 12. Of the 15 dealers that signed on remotely, only 2 failed to buy a vehicle that day. The experiment, as we'll call it, reached the GM boardroom, and as a rumor that a few members on the board of directors were observing this new technology as it was being utilized. History was made that day, and the auction industry has now totally embraced simulcast bidding. I got to say, there are many sides to Jeff Barber, and I'll tell him the best side. 2 years ago, Jeff challenged NAAA when the association was attempting to put in place a mandatory safety standard. Jeff's years of experience and his tenacity was convincing enough for the association to move in another direction. Well, I witnessed between Jeff and our CEO, Frank Hackett. It convinced me that the professionalism displayed between these two men had a lasting impact on me and others involved in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing our 2019 Pioneer Award winner and someone I call a good friend, Jeff Barber.
Wow. I'm never speechless. Everybody that knows me knows that. So I'm not going to stand up here and say I'm at a loss for words, because I'm not. But I want to thank, first of all, I want to thank Chad Bailey for being a pioneer. And I mean this very, very sincerely. He has done an amazing job himself personally getting this conference back to be the National Auto Auction Association. You know, it's interesting, they say you can't go back. Well, coming to this convention this year, it's kind of like you can go back, and it's a good thing. And we really appreciate it. Chad, our hat is, all of us, our hat is off to you. Thank you very much. It's very sobering to be here tonight in many ways. I think the biggest being that when you get something called the Pioneer Award, I think that means that you're kind of you might have been around for a while and maybe you're reaching the end of the trail or something. You know, I've been joking with people all week, and there's probably 10 people that have said something to me this week. I say, yeah, you know, pioneers end up with an arrow in their back. So I hope nothing like that happens to me tonight. But on a more serious note, it was just 1 year ago at this meeting that Jim DeRochers received this award, and that makes it sobering in itself. We think back to Jim, what a good friend and what a good member he was, and his passionate plea last year. In honor of Jim DeRocher, who is no longer with us, I would like to ask that we say a prayer for him, and please heed his warning. And this is in memory of him. He stood up here last year and said, men, go get your PSA checked and get your prostate checked, because if you don't think it can happen to you, it can. And I just think it's proper right now. How about a moment of silence for Jim? Thank you. I have been very, very, very fortunate in my life to be exposed to many pioneers, and I thought, what am I going to say when I get this award tonight? So what you're going to hear from me is just a few of the pioneers that I've been exposed to, and I'll try to make this somewhat brief. I won't ramble on too long, but I do want to mention some people because I've been so fortunate, and maybe after I get done telling you about a few of them, you'll understand. First of all, there are many people in this room and in this industry that I can thank, and I can honestly say they've been a pioneer to me. I think the cliche is we all stand on the shoulders of those who have gone before us. And I'm going to mention shoulders every time about somebody tonight, but many people in this room have helped me. I've stood on their shoulders for years. We've all helped each other. There's been a great amount of camaraderie and friendship and brotherhood, so to speak, and sisterhood in this room and in this industry. And if I start mentioning anybody that's in this room, two things are going to happen. If I start mentioning the people I could, this would go on all night, number one, and number two, I would forget some people. So I'm not going to mention anybody. And I'm doing that on purpose. You know who you are. We're all good friends, and thank you all for all the help you've given me through the years. I had a good friend in college. His name was Jay Kegerice. We were fraternity brothers, but I never saw him. He was 2 years ahead of me, and every time we had a fraternity party, he was never there. He worked his way through school, through college, and he paid his own way. He didn't get any help from his parents. He was, and to this day, he was the hardest working guy I ever knew. He had numerous jobs during college, but one he had was he went to work at the local Pepsi-Cola bottling plant. And he not only worked at the bottling plant, then he got to know the people that sold equipment, and one thing followed another. And after he got out of school, he went to work for an equipment company out on the West Coast, out in the San Francisco Bay Area. They made liquor and soft drink dispensing equipment. So when you go into a bar and you see the black and white gun where the bartender pushes the button and the liquor comes out, or the soft drink, the post-mix hose, he was with an innovating company out at that time it was in the East Bay of California. It was in Concord, California, called Electronic Dispensers International. Jay called me when I got out of college after I got my, I was making my fame and fortune. I got my college degree and I went to Atlanta. And I interviewed, I remember I still got the list somewhere. I interviewed with 56 companies and I was 0 for 56. So it had nothing to do with my academic prowess, believe me. But I ended up working at a Alice Chalmers warehouse, picking parts and driving a forklift. And Jay knew I was doing that, so he got in touch with me and he said, "Hey Jeff, come out here and I'll talk to you about a job." Now the reason, here's where the shoulders come in and where the brakes come in. The reason Jay called me was I always was a car guy when I was in college, and I would work on my car and I would work on some other guys' cars, and I had a 64 GTO in college, and I had a 1970 Chevy SS, and that's back when you could buy a 2-year-old used car for $1,800, you know. So Jay gave me an offer. He said, "Come out west," and I got on an airplane for the second time in my life, and I flew to the Bay Area, and they hired me, and I ended up teaching a service school to the technicians. They had rotating technicians coming in month after month to teach them how to work on this equipment. And I traveled all the time. I was working trade shows for the food equipment or food service industry. And for a guy 1 year out of college, it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I did that for a couple years, and the company ended up moving to Reno. And then so I stood on Jay's shoulders. Unfortunately, Jay died a number of years ago. He died of, once again, he died of cancer. And here I am recognizing tonight. I'd love to call him and tell him about this award or even have him here, but he's not here with us. And I feel very strongly about talking about him. The second gentleman I'm going to talk about, I ended up moving back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. There was this lady back in North Carolina when I was out west. Her name is Jean. She's with us tonight. She's the mother of our children, and she's my wife of 41 years, and I'm tickled to death to have her here tonight. And so following along, I decided in the fall of 1975 to move back to North Carolina because this young lady was back there. Once again, I didn't have a job, but I figured I'd find one. So I got a job because of my food service equipment experience. I ended up working for a company called Champion Industries. And I was there for a total of 9 years, but for the last 3 years that I worked there, I had the good fortune. I had an Italian industrialist by the name of Mr. Luciano Berti. He came to town and he bought the company. It was his first American acquisition. And this gentleman came to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and bought the company I worked for. And he had gone to Stanford University. He was educated in the United States. He's 20 years older than me, so that makes him 88 years old now. Back then I was about 29, he was 49. He bought his first U.S. acquisition, being our company, and within about 4 weeks, the president was gone, the vice president was gone, the national sales manager was gone, and I was the assistant national sales manager. And he said, Jeff, he said, and we worked with independent reps that repped our line of equipment. Our biggest customer, by the way, was Marriott Corporation. Every Marriott hotel in the country, and really all over the world, they had Champion dishwasher machines. We would get big, for banquet facilities like this and for in-flight feeding. So I traveled around the country with Luciano, letting him meet our reps, and I got to go to Europe with him, and I went to in-flight feeding conferences, and I got to call on people and do things in industries that a normal 29-year-old young man wouldn't normally be able to do. And to say that I stood on his shoulders is a great understatement. I learned a lot from hanging around with a guy like him. I left that company in 1983, which was 2 years after my dad started our auto auction. And to say that it was a chance that I took is an understatement. But here I am. I haven't talked to Luciano since I left. And that goes back to 83. And I researched him a little bit when I was getting ready to do this speech. He now owns over 70 companies. He's still alive. The name of the group is Ali Spa, A-L-I, and then S-P-A, as they do in Italy. And over 70 companies, and he's a multi-billionaire. And that just goes to show I got the chance to hang out with that guy. And I would go to dinner with him at night and listen to him and watch him and hear what he had to say. So then when my dad started the auction back in my hometown of Waverly, New York, he started it in 1981, and he was one of these guys that I'm going to get to in a minute, because his shoulders in my life, as you can imagine, were very broad. And my dad, when my dad got out of high school in 1940, he really had the bug to fly. He wanted to be a pilot. So he went in halves with another guy in a Piper Cub. And then World War II happened. Pearl Harbor happened. My dad had a job as a machinist with IBM in Endicott, New York, which is the birthplace of IBM. And one thing led to another, and he ended up going into the Army Air Corps because he really had the bug to fly. And he earned his pilot's wings, which, as anyone knows, it was in the Army Air Corps before they called it the Air Force. For someone to go through that and get their wings was a real accomplishment. And so my dad was a B-25 pilot. He didn't end up in combat the way things turned out, which was a good thing. But he got out of the service, and he moved back to Waverly, and he was still working at IBM as a machinist. And my dad was, if you look up entrepreneur in the dictionary, nobody would ever beat my dad. And I don't normally get choked up, but I just wish he was here to see this tonight, because I learned so much from him. And I'm sorry, but just for instance, in 1947, I know I'm rambling on, but I'll try to get it together here. 1947, my dad thinks he's working at IBM full time. He says, I'm gonna build some tourist cabins. You know, little tourist cabins, you go down a 2-lane road and you see these tourist cabins. So he builds 4 or 5 tourist cabins. And he's bored waiting for somebody to come and rent cabins. So then he thinks he learned about something new. Miniature golf course. He had the only miniature golf course within 100 miles. Asphalt runways, 2x6 on the side, all painted pretty colors, 18 holes. You know, you lost your ball in the old oaken bucket. White picket fence, 18-hole miniature golf course, 4 or 5 little cabins. Then he bought he built a 5-unit motel. All the time he's working at IBM. And my brother was born in 49, I was born in 51, and we grew up in the 50s, and then the miniature golf course certainly didn't keep him busy enough, so he went in the ice cream business. Not just selling somebody else's ice cream, you gotta make your own. So he made ice cream at night after he got home from IBM, and he would get up at, 4 o'clock in the morning to go back to work, and he'd work till 2 in the morning, so I don't know how he did it. 1968, when I was in high school, we were still making ice cream. I was making ice cream myself the night Martin Luther King got shot. I remember that. And then that ice cream stand turned into a 350-seat restaurant. 1959, he gets the idea, mobile home parks are coming into style. people want to live in mobile homes, so he went into the mobile home park business. So people talk, you say, I'm a pioneer. I look at somebody like my dad, I'm thinking, I'm not even close. I don't work as hard as he ever did. And what I've done, I know I'm very, very proud of it. It's been an amazing run, and it's been wonderful for our family and me and for us to experience this whole industry. But it's just, I just can't say enough how much I learned from my dad. When you grow up like that, you don't know you're learning it. You don't know that you're supposed to do that. But what happened in 1983 is when he called me, I ran in. Then what happened was the pioneer that I really want to talk about. Now, if I don't get choked up now, I'll be doing real good. That's my wife, Jean. Because of all the pioneers I've been around, I have stood on her shoulders more than anybody. The best thing I ever did in my life was marry her. Because in 1983, we had our oldest daughter, the one that you don't know, our oldest daughter, Kate, that's not here with us today. She was 1 year old. My wife, Jean, was an only child living in her own hometown with her parents. And we had a 1 year old daughter, and Jean never questioned. When my dad said, you know, we told my dad when he started the auction, I said, if that ever gets going, I'd think about coming home. I left a really, really good job, a really high-paying job with Champion Industries. I was the director of sales and marketing, and I know I would have had a good career there, but the spark that was in me that made me leave and go to Waverly was what I learned when I was a kid, because my dad was always doing something on his own, and it was just second nature to me. I'm thinking, when I watched Luciano Berti come in, and he was a fine gentleman, but when I watched him get rid of that president and that vice president and that national sales manager, I'm thinking, one of these days, that's going to be me. So I wanted to protect myself a little bit. Not once ever did my wife ever question what we did. She never questioned me. She never asked why or never doubted us. And what we've done since then, I'm very, very proud of. Of all the things I'm proud of, it's my wife and our 4 children. I wish you did have the privilege of knowing our daughter, Kate, but with Emily and Beth and Paul here tonight, and many of you know them, and I know they're getting to be well known. That was the best marketing plan ever devised. That night that I paid $102,000 for that pedal car, it put them on the cover of the Rolling Stone. And that was great because everybody got to know who they were. But I'm going to wrap it up now, but when Jean was in Winston-Salem, she taught 9th and 10th grade gifted and talented children when we were first going out and dating, and later on when we were married. And she was a wonderful teacher. And I remember some of my fondest memories were running into her former students, and they would say, Miss Badgett, Miss Badgett, Miss Badgett, oh, you were the best teacher I ever had. I had many times that we would be at the mall or we'd be walking around, and her students would say, you're the best teacher I ever had. And her students would give her accolades. She worked so hard at that, teaching and trying to grade papers for 9th grade. Everything was essays. And she finally thought, this could get better. So then she went into the travel agency business because she got recruited by a travel agent, and she became the best travel agent in the town of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So she's been good at whatever she does. I want to recognize her tonight because I couldn't have done anything without her and our children. Like I say, it's the best move I ever made. As I get done, I will cherish this award forever. It really means a lot. I hope you know that. It's a great, great, great industry. I'm so thankful and so happy that I can pass this along to our children. I think it's Eric Ottenreich's line. It's a relay race, and we pass this from one generation to another. That's a great way of saying it. And I'm not ready to pass the baton yet. Matter of fact, this is my 36th convention. I started in 1983 at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. I've come to every one. So Tom Adams is sitting next to me tonight. So just if I can make it, can I borrow that gold coat in about 14 years? Can I do that? Okay. So thank you all. It's been wonderful. I can't thank you enough. It's not about me. It's about everybody here. It's a great business. It's a great industry. And thank you for this award. It really means a lot.
Congratulations again, Jeff. Since 1968, 96 members, friends, and colleagues have been inducted into the NAAA Hall of Fame. Tonight, our newest member of the Hall of Fame will have her name listed alongside 94 distinguished members and colleagues who have received this honor. To present the Hall of Fame award, please welcome the General Manager of San Antonio, Mannheim, and past NAAA President, Mike Browning.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As he said, 51 years ago, the National Auto Auction Association began recognizing outstanding member contributions to our industry by the induction of the newly formed NAAA Hall of Fame. Tonight, we will induct our newest member of this distinguished group, a longtime colleague of mine and a very dear friend, Ellie Johnson. She will join many of the legends who are with us here this evening. Ellie has a lifetime of experience in the auction profession, growing up as a child of an auctioneer, Kenneth Aycock, who founded the Aycock Auto Auction in 1984. After earning an accounting degree and a real estate broker's license, Ellie joined her father's auction in 1986. First working in the front office, processing titles and vehicle registrations, then as a business manager, and then a controller. She served as the general manager of the auction, which is now Mannheim, North Carolina, from 1997 until 2016, when she was named general manager of Mannheim Statesville. Now, during Ellie's more than 35-year auction career, she's been an active member of our association. She served on the board of directors of the NAAA Southern Chapter. She's held the office of the chapter treasurer, the vice president, the president. I guess we're getting them all. She sat on and served on the political action committee and the membership committee before being elected to the association's executive team. As our president from 2014 to 2015, Ellie was instrumental in launching a safety awareness and accident prevention initiative that we know today as Safety SAM. Today, NAAA has awarded over 90,000 safety certifications, and 193 auctions have received the 100% Safety Certification Award. That's because of you, Ellie. Thank you. In addition to NAAA, Ellie's professional memberships have included the Carolinas Independent Automobile Dealers Association, the NAAA, which twice honored her with its Eagle Award for outstanding achievement in membership development. And in 2018, Cox Automotive presented Ellie with the prestigious annual Barbara Cox Woman of the Year Award. Ellie's also been involved in numerous civic groups and charitable organizations, including the Chamber of Commerce, the Community Watch, the Kinley Planning Board, the Tourism Committee. She's even established 2 scholarships for graduating high school seniors. She avidly supports the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life, raising over $100,000. And she even enjoys, I don't know where she gets the time, preserving and restoring some very old buildings. Tonight's honor recognizes a career that has been dedicated to our industry and our association, that has been so much of a part of her life. But her true passion is being a mother and a grandmother. Ellie's daughter, Amanda, is here with us tonight, and she is following in her mother's footsteps at Mannheim, North Carolina. And I have to say, what's special about Amanda is she's always been there for her. When Ellie took over as president of NAAA, Amanda was there. The Cox Automotive Woman of the Year, Amanda was there. Amanda, you are amazing, just like your mother. I probably could take the next hour telling you a lot of stories about her and as amazing as she is. But I'll just have her come to the stage. So please welcome one of our true leaders, and a very dear friend of mine, Ellie Johnson.
At this time, I would like to invite to the podium NAAA Chief Operating Officer Mike Stanton, who will present Ellie with her Hall of Fame ring.
Thank you, Chad. And tonight, you get two NADA guys. I'm pleased that Peter Welch, our president and CEO, is able to join us here tonight. And Peter, you say a few words?
Thank you, Chad. Ellie? Well, I'm going to keep my remarks extremely brief. I just wanted to, with all of this disruption and changes in our business, there's really one thing that remains the same, and that's the strong bond between NAAA and the National Auto Dealers Association. And, I want to shout out to Frank here, your support of our charitable foundation, the various business enterprises we've had over the year, and quite frankly, the camaraderie that brings us together is greatly appreciated, and we're very honored, Ellie, tonight to have you here with us. Thank you.
I want to let everyone know how grateful and how blessed I am, number one, to be here with you tonight, but also be in the midst of so many great people sitting in this room. The one thing that Mike didn't tell you was that my first auction, my dad was an auctioneer, and he worked the circuit, as the auctioneers call it, and he was gone just about every day to the week, and a lot of times on the weekend. So I begged him when I was little, let me go to work with you. Let me go to work with you. So he finally told me when I was old enough to get up, dress myself, and brush my own hair, that I could go with him to work. So when I was 5 years old, I got to go to what is now Manheim-Fredericksburg Auto Auction. And that was, without a doubt, the best experience I've ever had, was to be able to go with my dad to an auto auction. So today, I want to say that I am fortunate to have my daughter working in the industry that we love so much today. And I thank Manheim for allowing her to go to work at Manheim, North Carolina, to give her the opportunities that my dad gave me. Because the thing about the auction industry is we are all family. I look out and I see Joe and Charlotte. Their sons, Andrew and Aaron, are following in their footsteps. And I also look over and I see Tim Janego, and his son is following in his footsteps. He is working, Tanner's now working at Manheim, Tampa. It's such a great pleasure to be able to see our children and our youth come back up in our industry. And as one of the panelists said today, we're going to survive because we can continue to evolve and adapt to whatever the market or the industry or the world brings to us, because we are family and we're a strong, vibrant industry. So all I can say is let's go attack the next 35, 40 years. Thank you.
Thanks again, Mike, and congratulations, Ellie. Tonight, it's my pleasure to recognize 4 auto auctions who, with their energies, imagination, dedication, and fearlessness, have brought great purpose to their lives, and therefore to others by putting their energy and determination into action. Simply stated, these auctions have and will inspire us. They celebrate kindness by making the lives of people around them better. We created the Auto Auction of the Year Award to honor the work at our auto auctions, along with the men and women whose devotion to others have made the world a better place. Tonight's honorees bring value and purpose to the lives of others. This call to action will be an inspiration to us all. So let us honor these auto auctions which have given so much help out to others in need. Will the Eastern Chapter President Elaine Joyal, the Midwestern Chapter President Chad Anderson, the Southern Chapter President Bill McCready, and the Western Chapter President-elect Lou Pigeon please join me on stage? To qualify for the Auto Auction of the Year award, the auto auction had to be selected from one of the 4 chapters and recognized as a chapter auto auction of the year. Each of the 4 chapter auto auctions of the year receives $5,000, which they donate to the charity or charities of their choice. The Auto Auction of the Year award is selected by an independent committee and chosen from one of the 4 chapter award winners. The auction that earns the national honor receives an additional $20,000, which they can then donate to charities of their choices. In addition, NAAA's On the Block magazine will feature a cover story about the auction and its charitable efforts. And the auto auction staff will grace the cover of the 2020 NAAA member directory. To present the Eastern Chapter of the Year award is Eastern Chapter President Elaine Joyal.
Thank you, Chad. The winner of the Eastern Chapter Auto Auction of the Year award is Edessa, Boston. Accepting the award for Edessa, Boston is General Manager Jack Nash. Please, Jack, join us on the stage.
To present the Midwest Chapter of the Year award is Midwest Chapter President Chad Anderson.
The winner of the Midwest Chapter Auto Auction of the Year award is Columbus Fair Auto Auction of Columbus, Ohio. Accepting the award for Columbus Fair Auto Auction is owner Alexis Jacobs.
To present the Southern Chapter of the Year award is Southern Chapter President Bill McCready.
The winner of the Southern Chapter Auto Auction of the Year is Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction of Hammond, Louisiana. Accepting the award for Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction is owner John Petit.
And finally, to present the Western Chapter of the Year Award is Western Chapter President-elect Luke Pidgeon.
Thank you. The winner of the Western Chapter Auto Auction of the Year Award is DAA Northwest out of Spokane, Washington. Accepting the award for DAA is owner Bob McConkey.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause to our 4-chapter Auto Auction of the Year winners. Congrats. 2 months ago, I had the pleasure to join the auction owner and staff who are about to celebrate as our 2019 Auto Auction of the Year. I was so excited to share the news that they were selected for this prestigious award. We disguised the announcement by telling the owner we had a video crew there to videotape some of my time as president. So if we could, let's take a look at the announcement and see why this auto auction is so special. Being Auction of the Year, to be that chosen auction out of 344 of your peers is something that's truly amazing and something that can never be taken away from what you do. But I am beyond privileged, honored, and pleased to announce the 2019 Auction of the Year is Bob McConkey.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your...
Both of you have been involved with our anniversary sale. That event in and of itself has benefited the community to the tune of $2 million.
Some of the organizations that we're involved in include Union Gospel Mission that helps the homeless, Young Life, Community Cancer Care, International Spring of Hope. We are all pretty heavily involved. I mean, everywhere from donating money to a mentorship program.
So what the crew from GAA does is they go into Sunset Elementary once a week, sit down one-on-one with elementary-aged children, engaging them by doing projects, crafts, drawing, but most importantly, listening to what that child has to say and providing them with encouragement to do better.
That mentorship program has been just critical in catapulting and kind of benefiting so many lives at a really individual and deep level.
I don't have children myself, so just having a child take to you and really genuinely be glad to see you when you show up, that just did something for me inside.
Frankly, DA mentors let their kids do more things.
Where you really get involved in a kid's life and you really get to see that transformational impact.
And it's kind of like a big brother or a big sister. It's one more person that they can link to who cares about them.
We don't just say integrity and professionalism, excellence. We live that and we expect that.
Do the job, do it correctly, with excellence, with integrity, and still, throw in a little spice of fun.
So the rock and roll sales started as a one-time event. It was never going to happen again. It was just to commemorate this new facility, get people in, and walking through the lanes during the first one, having just the best sale we'd ever seen in our lives, and 15 or 20 people asked me, who are we going to have next year?
People talk about the rock and roll sale and the event he has, but Bob and his staff is so much bigger than the event. The thing that mattered most to them in the sense of the community giving was the Bite to Go program.
So what it does is it provides food on the weekends for kids.
We have the vast majority of our staff contributing a portion of their paycheck to a school that we have adopted that has a rate of poverty within it that is off the charts, and frankly don't have the money for food on the weekends. And so through a match from DAA and then the employees, which well over 200 of them contribute every week.
And that says a lot about the establishment that we work at, because it just motivates people to keep bettering other people. And
Everything they do is about charity.
And it's just nice to see them taking care of people. And I really appreciate all they do for everybody in this community.
They partner with us so well as dealers that you want to give money because they take care of the community.
It doesn't take much to read in the New Testament about what we're called to do, which is the widows and the orphans and those that can't stand on their own, that we're called to support them, and that's really what drives this for us.
For many years now, we've had a strategic vision to be a smarter, safer, and healthier community. DAA and Bob and his team come right alongside that and have investments in our crisis nursery in Vanessa Behan, obviously focusing on the health of our community.
The intent of the Vanessa Behan Crisis Nursery is really to prevent child abuse and neglect.
What they've done for women in crisis situations and the help in our community and the impact that we've seen is just tremendous. And really, we really truly believe in what they're doing and how they're striving forward.
DAA just invests in so many different organizations. It just blows me away of not only how they financially give back, but just how they give of their time and their treasure. And they're really taking what they do best and maximizing that in a way that helps the community.
You're not just a car dealership. You're a dealership that has a purpose, and that purpose is greater than selling cars. You're actually helping the homeless, the poor in our community.
The $1,000 you raise each year allows us in Young Life not to have to worry about raising money and worry more about helping hurting teenagers.
The impact you've had on the nursery alone is over $400,000 and thousands of lives of kiddos being protected and safe in this community.
Through the DAA partnership, Spring of Hope has been able to provide sustainable solutions in the communities in Africa who are faced with extreme poverty.
You've been such a blessing throughout the years.
This is an entire community of employees giving back.
First comes awareness that there's a need. I think that when we become less selfish, even for people that are, in the ranks here, I think it gives them a sense of an awareness. They're actually doing pretty good when they're able to be exposed to and be in a position to help those that are really, downtrodden and destitute. I think that that's a big part of the awareness that working with these organizations brings that to light for our employees.
It's not just donating money, it's donating time, all of their employees, all of the staff that give so much back to the community and back to the people within the city of Spokane.
To see a DAA be recognized in this way as a mayor makes me very proud.
The bar and the pedestal just keep getting risen higher and higher of what these auctions are doing to give back to the community and give back to their cities.
Congratulations, DAA. This is an award that you guys deserve.
Bob and everybody at DAA, well deserved. You guys are amazing, great partners, and just so proud of what you have done in Spokane and to be connected with you.
All you folks out there at DAA, thank you for all you do, and congratulations on this well-earned award.
Bob, and to the DAA team, congratulations. A job well done and well deserved. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 NAAA Auto Auction of the Year is DAA Northwest Auto Auction of Spokane, Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my good friends and my mentor, Bob McConkey.
You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart.
never been intimidated by balloons before, but so let's see here. This award goes to KCI and DAA Seattle and DAA Northwest. I remember over the last couple of years, KCI was recognized as the Western chapter, and Doug Dahl would say, you know, I could just never give up a kidney to do that deal. I don't know if you remember that or not, but that was, yeah, so. I'm very, very, very proud and pretty bold about talking about how good we are at selling cars. But as it relates to this, I would never ask for this recognition and kind of struggled to accept it because that's not why we do it. So having said that, thank you very much. Good night.
Again, congratulations, Bob and DAA Northwest Auto Auction, and congratulations again to Odessa Boston, Columbus Fair Auto Auction, and Louisiana's First Choice Auto Auction. It's an honor to be standing here with you as I conclude my duties as president. Congratulations again to Ellie Johnson, Jeff Barber. You're two of my favorite people in this association. Again, thank you for all that you have done to make this industry what it is today. A year ago, I thanked you for this incredible opportunity. Tonight, I thank you again for your trust and confidence that you have shared with me over the past year. So I want to express my gratitude to those members from Odessa, Mannheim, ServNet, the Independent Auto Auctions, and the associate members serving on NAAA Safety Committee, whose dedication and hard work have been in front of us with safety awareness and accident prevention initiatives. When Ellie Johnson was president, she grabbed a hold of this problem, and tonight I'm proud to say we are certified again with over 90,000 full and part-time employees, and when all numbers get in beginning in January, it'll be well over 105,000 people. Ellie, your efforts have helped employees and customers conduct business in a safer work environment. You, too, are simply the best. My sincerest thank you also goes to all NAAA members and staff for making many other highlights of this year possible. Our 10th year co-hosting the CAR Conference, holding an enlightening safety meeting in Dallas, another productive day on the Hill in our nation's capital, the release of the research project Auto Auctions 2030, a look ahead into the future of wholesale auto auctions, hiring an automotive technician recruiter, and bringing convention back to NAAA. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week as much as I have. We continue to strengthen our strategic partnerships with related industry organizations in our lobbying campaigns and have built relationships with lawmakers, so we now speak about issues vital to the industry in a united voice that makes an impact on Washington, D.C. I would also like to thank the board of directors, committee chairs, and all of the committee members. Your hard work has made a difference and has not gone unnoticed by so many of our member auctions. I would also like to introduce my parents, Bob and Joe Bailey, partner Joel Hampshire, as well as my fleet lease repo manager, Mike Wassity. Would you all please stand and be recognized? My two other partners, Trish Short and Randy Lindstedt, are not here this evening, but I thank them as well as my uncle, Jeff Bailey, who is another partner too. I certainly couldn't do this also without recognizing my sons, Cole and Caden, and my wife, Tracy, too. Thank you for your continuous love and support you have given me over this past year. They couldn't be here this evening, but I know they're here in my strength and support. Those who've had the privilege of standing where I am today would agree that we could not achieve the level of success during our tenure without the support of the NAAA staff. And Frank, Tricia, Steve, Lori, Beth, Anna, and Mike, thank you. I'm proud and honored to have served the National Auto Auction Association. We just witnessed the generosity by the chapters of the year and the auto auction of the year. This is your association, and I hope you will always have the desire to give back to others who need us most. I have one last official item of business before I leave you as president. This business item is outside the realm of what a traditional association might do, but as Frank will tell you, this has not been a traditional year, so I figure I'm going to roll a non-traditional way. As you know, I have a passion for sports, and this non-traditional exit has a non-traditional twist, one that will always remind you of me, a non-traditional president. The word GOAT has been used in American sports since the early 1900s, first as a term for a player responsible for a team's loss, and later, often in capital letters as an acronym for the greatest of all time. It's hard to pin down exactly when the term was first used to identify sports figures. In May 1971's issues of the Harvard Crimson, Muhammad Ali stated, "I wanted to be the world's greatest fighter at 11 years old. I wanted to be the greatest of all time." Many other athletes have been called the greatest of all time. I did a little research, and I found out that Complex Sports made a case for crowning the GOAT, the greatest of all time, in 4 sports. In basketball was Michael Jordan, baseball Babe Ruth, football Joe Montana, and boxing Muhammad Ali. Since 1948, or for 71 years, the National Auto Auction Association had their list of greatest of all time, or GOATs. Let me define what I'm going to consider an NAAA GOAT. An NAAA GOAT is someone who broke new ground in technique, subject matter ideas, had popular appeal, and a lasting impact on auto auction culture, and represented the greatest work of the association's most respected members and colleagues. During the past 2 years, many of us had one time to reflect with the passing of Kenny Osborne, Greg Coble, Jim DeRochers, and Dave Angelicchio. These 4 men had much more in common. They were past presidents, Hall of Famers, and Pioneer Award winners. They were great men. I would have labeled each of them as a GOAT, or the greatest of all time in our association. If we put every past president, Hall of Famer, and Pioneer Award winner in this group, I'd call it a GOAT Society. A society defined as an organization or club formed for a particular purpose or activity. So I'm kind of excited and future hope for our association that we will officially announce what I'm going to call the National Auto Auction Association GOAT, Greatest of All Time Society. Our new society will welcome all past presidents, Hall of Famers, and Pioneer Award winners. Our mission will never be to forget those people who have gone before us and to share in the fellowship with those who are still amongst us. We have no bylaws, rules, collection dues. The GOAT Society is going to be guided each year by the NAAA outgoing president, who will be responsible for inviting all the GOATs to return each year to the annual convention and attend the GOAT Society breakfast, and enjoy fellowship, celebrate the gift of being selected to work in this tremendous industry. So at this time, would every past president, Hall of Famer, and Pioneer Award winner who is here tonight please get ready to join me on stage. Please enter the stage from the left so we can announce your name. And I would also at this time like CEO Frank Hackett to please join me in announcing our GOAT Society members. As a symbol of our gratitude for your commitment to this organization, we're going to present each of you with a GOAT Society plate, a challenge coin, as a reminder of this role each of you have played in making this association what it is today.
So all of you out there who are GOATs, would all the GOATs please make your way to my left? You know who you are, but if you don't make it over there, I know what to call your name. Our newest GOAT and Pioneer Award winner, Jeff Barber. Tom Adams, Hall of Fame. You're going to go right here, Jeff. Ellie Johnson, past president, Hall of Fame. Mike Browning, past president.
I'm going over here.
Tim West, Hall of Fame. Charlotte Pyle, past president. Tom Cunningham, Hall of Fame. Alexis Jacobs, past president, Hall of Fame, Pioneer. Lynn Weaver, Hall of Fame. Tony Long, past president. Steve DeMedicis, Hall of Fame. Tom Cross, Hall of Fame. Jay Cadigan, past president, Hall of Fame.
We're gonna make 2 rows.
Dan Kennedy, Hall of Fame. Warren Klaus, past president. Tommy Caruso, past president, Hall of Fame. Bob McConkey, past president, Hall of Fame. Jack Nash, past president. Paul Lips, past president. Buzz Cotton, pioneer. Tony Morby, Hall of Fame. Jim Hallett, Hall of Fame, pioneer.
Go a couple rows. Get the ladies up.
I know it's tight.
This is so bad.
On that note, having enjoyed such a tremendous year, it makes it difficult to say goodbye, but my sadness is lessened knowing that I leave NAAA in the capable hands of our next president, Laura Taylor. I will look forward to working with all of you to ensure our association I look forward to working with all of you to ensure our association industry remains alive and well for future generations. Thank you. Laura, would you please come up on stage with me? Laura, before I turn the gavel over to you, I would like to call on Black Book Automotive Group President Tom Cross, who will present you with the President's Ring. Oh, I'm sorry, is Jared bringing it? Sorry, Jared. Please welcome to the stage Jared Kalfas. I didn't have those set on here. Sorry about that. On behalf of all the members of the National Auto Auction Association, it is my honor to present now the Larry G. Tribble Senior Memorial Gavel to you. But before I do, I want to make sure that Jared gets to say something. I'm getting excited. I know Laura wants to go.
Good evening. I'm not ready for the gavel, and I'm not Tom Cross. Good evening. For the past 15 years, Black Book has had the honor of presenting the President's Ring to the incoming NAAA President. Tonight, I'm proud to continue this tradition and present the President's Ring to Laura Taylor. Laura, on behalf of Black Book, I'd like to wish you our very best for a safe and fruitful year, and we thank you for your dedication to our service and our industry.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. Thank you. We appreciate all you guys do. Picture. Oh, picture.
Where's the goat?
Yeah.
Where's the goat? Yeah.
Thank you. Now.
Thank you again, Jared, for the ring. It's been a long day. On behalf of all the members of the National Auto Auction Association, it's my true privilege and honor to present the Larry G. Tribble Senior Memorial Gavel to you. This gavel carries with it a commitment to the mission and values of the National Auto Auction Association. Laura, do you accept the duties and responsibilities bestowed upon you as president by the members of the association?
I do.
Congratulations, Madame President.
Oh, Chad. On behalf of all the members and friends of the National Auto Auction Association, we thank you for your leadership, your friendship, and your dedication to the National Auto Auction Association. Come on up, Chad. Holy crap, that thing's heavy. Hold on, my hair.
I knew you were talking to me. I knew you weren't talking to me.
You're with a woman. Thank you, Chad. Chad, again, congratulations on a terrific year as NAAA president. You have prepared me well, and I've learned from you that no matter how hard I try, I will never be able to give away 500 bobbleheads. Nor will I be in the Bobblehead Hall of Fame. And never, ever will I have a goat live on the stage with me. Well, I don't know, maybe. You were nonstop and must have driven the folks in the National Auto Auction office crazy. So I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be glad to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, tonight I am proud and honored to be standing here accepting this honor as president of the National Auto Auction Association. We are entering our 72nd year, as an association, and 67 presidents before me have embraced this moment. Our president-elect mentions in the video you're about to see that we join a special group of people we call industry legends. To all the past presidents, members of Hall of Fame, and pioneers who are here tonight, I'm deeply honored, humbled, and most of all proud to be in your presence and to have shared this moment with me. I would like to add my congratulations to the newest Hall of Fame members, Jim Hallett, Ellie Johnson, and pioneer Jeff Barber, who have worked tirelessly. They have worked tirelessly to improve the NAAA and the remarketing industry. I also want to personally recognize two legends who were here with us last year and since have joined our Savior in heaven. They are Jim DeRochers, Dave Angelicchio, and we also lost two friends, Joe Bellino and Forrest Mendenhall. They were great men who led great lives, and we will miss them dearly. I want to thank the nominating committee and the NAAA members for having faith in me to lead this association. Thank you, executive committee members Julie Picard, Mike Browning, Charlotte Powell, Warren Klaus, and Warren Bird for your direction, inspiration, and leadership in preparing me for this year. I would also like to recognize our newest board member, who was elected today as your next vice president from Barrel Air Auto Auction, Charles Nichols. Charles follows his father Ray, who was NAAA president in 2002. Members of my family are here to support me this evening. My daughter-in-law, Stephanie Bostick, my granddaughters, Madeline Grace, and Anna Lee Hope. I am so proud of you, and I want you to know you give me my strength to get through each day. Would you stand and please be recognized? I would also like to thank to all my friends in the audience who stood by me when tragedy struck my family 3 years ago. Your prayers, kind words, and many hugs are something I will never forget. I would also like to introduce from the Accelerate Group, CEO Cam Hitchcock, Chief Revenue Officer Chuck Tapp, Charleston Auto Auction National Remarketing Manager Chris Wise, and the entire Accelerate Group and Charleston Auto Auction team. Would you please stand and be recognized? That goes for Bill McCready and all of you guys. Thank you. Frank, Tricia, Steve, Beth, Lori, Anna, Mike, thank you once again for putting together a brilliant convention in a short amount of time and supporting all of us in so many ways that go way beyond what is expected of you. I want to be the first to tell you, you will never see a goat expense on my report, promise you. Well, I don't know. Since being elected NAAA Vice President 3 years ago, I have witnessed the desire, enthusiasm, and promise to making auto auctions a safe place to work. Employees who work at our auto auctions are proud of what they do. Our auto auction does make a difference. They deliver and they are led by talented leaders we trust. We can be proud of the difference we make to the thousands of employees throughout our industry. Our customers have long trusted our member auto auctions as a place to conduct business. This trust is demonstrated by NAAA auctions having one of the best years in the 71 history by selling 10 million units. We can't be content, so we must continue to work even harder to maintain that trust. And let me be clear, the brick and mortar auto auctions are not going away. We know our auto auctions are giving back to their communities and sharing their resources to improve the lives of their neighbors and those who need us most. I have found that auctions provide support because they are connected to the causes and they love what they do every day. Congratulations again to DAA Northwest Auto Auction, Bob McConkey, and all of his staff for this accomplishment. I know what it means to be Auto Auction of the Year, as Charleston Auto Auction earned the honor in 2017. You will be looked at by your peers as a leader who has given something special back to your community. And if you have not won this award and you are wondering if your auction has what it takes to be the best, you're not alone, but the ride, once you earn it, is simply the best. I'm looking forward to spending time in the coming months with President-elect Julie Picard as we visit your auctions around the country. That's right, 2 ladies visiting auctions, Frank carrying the luggage. That's not in the script. And to give you a glimpse, and as a part of our annual convention tradition, we have prepared a video especially for you to see, so let's take a look. Yeah, no doubt. It's a big deal. Yeah, I keep thinking about the leaders that come before me and everything that I've learned from them. I've got my place at the table with the big guys. I've been learning so much. I can't wait to keep supporting others in their growth. Safe travels, my friend. See you soon. All right.
Gosh, I'm so curious. Like, she didn't tell you anything at all?
She said, just show up. You know, now that the Auction Association's kind of going back to our roots, I think she's taking this to heart. I have no clue what's going on.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
You made it.
How
Welcome
are
to
you?
Charleston. Welcome to
You made
Charleston.
it.
I'm so glad you're here.
Gosh, your city is so full of history. I'll tell you what, it's beautiful here, Laura.
One thing I love about this city is the history, and also with our industry too, you know? The auctioneers, the excitement in the lanes, it can't be ignored.
I know this much. I am so excited for the World Auctioneer Championships tomorrow. I cannot wait.
You remember this time last year you were auctioning off your first car?
Oh, God, do I ever remember it. It was great.
I wonder what other firsts we're going to have this year.
Have you ever been in a helicopter around Charleston City?
No, but I'd
All
love
right.
to.
Come on, guys, let's go. All right,
No,
go,
no,
Chad.
no. They have a weight limit.
This is so exciting, isn't it?
Yes. I wonder if this is what the president feels like when he's getting on Airforce One.
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to let me know, Miss Presidente. Good stuff.
Chairs and stuff set up over here, and we've got the camera and stuff. Now Eve is over there.
Hey, good to see you.
Oh,
Good
my
to see you.
This looks amazing. Laura and Julie, it is so good to see you guys. Are you excited for your year? Sure are. 25 years ago, Ruth Hart Stevens was the president of Toronto Auto Auction, and she was our National Auto Auction Association president.
Not only that, but Ruth's president-elect was Alexis Jacobs from Columbus Fair, making them the only female duo in NAAA history until now.
Man, Chad, I don't even know what to say. I am flabbergasted. You know, I just love this association, and I've been waiting for my place at the table to help. And you know, Charlotte, I don't know if you remember back or not, the first time the Southern Chapter meeting, I tried to get in, I became president. Then what happened? I show up at the meeting, I walk in, Charlotte goes, you can't get in here. And I go, well, how do I get in here? She said, you got to be part of the executive team. I said, I'll see you in a couple of years. So I worked my way up. When I went into the executive board, I go to sit down at the table and they're like,
No, you become president-elect.
what do you mean? But I'm vice president. I can't. Sorry, you can't sit here. Then I come into the other meeting at Palm Springs and Frank just looks at me and goes,
No.
Then, the funniest one, and you know about this one, when I went to Las Vegas, when I could finally sit at the table, my flight was delayed. I missed the day. I mean, how do you even do that? I was like, I can't win for losing.
Maybe she's at the bar.
Bartender, I need a big, tall glass of milk.
Tall glass of milk. Looks like you need a shot.
Well, guess what, Laura? Your time is right now.
Really hope that your energy and your excitement really bleeds off into this next generation and makes sure gives them the energy and passion to really be a part of NAAA.
I can't wait to pass on the knowledge and the learning to our next generation that's going to run the auction, and you know, that's what it's all about. Okay, Chad, nothing personal. I'm going to steal these ladies, and we're going to go and get ready for tomorrow.
Have fun. See you guys. Bye. I've got you covered, Prez.
Oh, dear.
Do you remember that, Charlotte, during your presidency?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, I do.
It actually slipped and fell and broke, and I was panicked. And Frank sent me another one. You didn't know that story, did you?
Oh, no. Well, look at here. I didn't know if you
2013?
remembered or not.
Yes.
But you and I shared a milestone. It was 7 years ago almost.
Oh,
And
wow.
Women in Remarketing. And
We're the
looky
same.
here. I have a picture to show it.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
I had short hair.
Look at you have short hair.
You two haven't changed a bit.
Yeah, well, thank you.
That's so sweet.
Wiser, I hope.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
I certainly do look forward to making history with you guys. This is awesome. Group hug. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We're proud to host this event. First time ever in South Carolina. My staff has worked tirelessly on this. It's going to be a long, hot day, as we know, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
This is a big undertaking. 118 countries, 250,000 people. The eyes of the auto auction industry are on Charleston Auto Auction. And I call her the general. And the reason I do is because she's so wonderful. And I really mean that.
Come on, Frank. I don't want to miss my flight.
Get ready for a wild year.
Well, I would describe Laura as a strong leader who has a great deal of passion. Laura has a passion for her customers. She also has a passion for employees, and if you've ever been to her auction, you can see it right when you walk in. It's unlike any auction I've been to. The energy, the camaraderie, the teamwork that's displayed, and that all comes from Laura.
Oh, I'm just excited for her because I know she has a lot of passion. You can see it with the passion she has with her staff. You can see it with the passion she has for her auction, and you can see it with the passion she has for this industry. It's just, it's going to be great. I'm just really, really proud of her.
Laura's a big personality. Anybody who's been around her knows that. Very loyal, very driven, very concerned with everybody's welfare, whether it's employees, customers. In this role, it'd be the membership of the NAAA, protecting their interests, and I think it's going to be a great fit for her.
We've had tremendous success here at Charleston, and I don't think they could have picked a better person for the job of incoming NAAA president. So I wish her all the best. Good luck to her, and I look forward to working many, many more years with her and more success.
Congratulations, Laura. Good luck with everything. Yay! Glad to meet everybody. Hey, Laura, it's your title team at the auction. You go travel, bring in the business, and we've got your back. Congratulations!
Congratulations, Granny at the beach. I love you.
I think a lot of times you can look at her and her sweet demeanor and everything, but there's a no mess around, no play around. It's work hard, play hard, and she's gonna, when she demands excellence, she demands excellence. So there's not gonna be taking days off or breaks. When the bar's gonna be set, Laura's gonna make sure you get there.
I think all our other general managers and senior execs are very supportive of what Laura's going to do. She keeps us informed of what's going on, talks to us about what's happening in the association and how it's going to impact our guys.
We'll keep things running smoothly for you. Congratulations, Laura.
I always knew my granny at the beach would be the president. She's not. Trump is. Cut.
Congratulations, Granny at the Beach. You're one of the most amazing and successful women that we know. We know you'll be a great president.
On behalf of everybody at Charleston Auto Auction, good luck to you, Laura. Congratulations. I know you're going to do a phenomenal job.
We're so proud and we're so happy for you, and we're looking forward to a great run. Congratulations, Laura.
And I just want you to know how proud I am of you and how much I love you. And I know you're going to make a wonderful president.
Laura, General, LT, please be nice to the members. You're gonna knock it out of the park. We couldn't be more proud of you. Thanks.
I'm here for you for anything you ever need at all, but just enjoy it, have fun with it, and be passionate about it. I know you're going to take it to the next level and just be awesome.
Next year, NAAA is headed to Dallas, and they don't call it Big D for nothing. We'll be in the heart of it all at the newly remodeled Sheraton Dallas Hotel, where Southern meets modern and legacy meets luxury. You really can do it all in Dallas. Named a top 5 meeting destination in 2019, Dallas boasts over 12,000 restaurants and arts districts spread over 20 square blocks, and the Texas State Fair, which is, of course, one of the country's largest. Strike a balance of family fun and industry focus at the 2020 NAAA Annual Convention, October 6th through the 8th. We're going big in Big D. See you in Dallas.
I hope you enjoyed the video. I know everybody's ready to get on to either the bed or the president's party. It's sponsored by Accelerate Group. Thank you guys all. The president's party is located on the main level in the high velocity room, and I call it a night. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.